What is a disruptor? Lots of people talk about disruptors in different industries, different businesses, and what is it really, and how, and what is it going to have to do with dog training and the whole dog field? Well, I'm going to launch into that. I'm going to clarify some things about this disruptor stuff, and maybe this may not be the video for you, but if you want to know a little something about what is happening and what should be going on, then this is the video for you. Okay, I'm Christophe Clugston, also known as the Jedi Dog Master, which by way of the name is a disruptor. And a disruptor is actually something that changes the status quo, comes in and shakes up everything that was been going on, shakes up the status quo, changes things, puts a new slant on things, a new light, and actually taken from game theory, if you happen to be someone who knows anything about game theory. As a polymath, I know quite a bit about many things. So in game theory, this would be called mutant theory. So mutant theory is the same thing as being a disruptor. It's actually more descriptive too. A disruptor has been actually, this is another semantic change of what a disruptor is. But in this case, it means applying a new strategy or tactic to a business or to a field that other people hadn't used, and this opens up new things and creates advantages for you. So a disruptor, what is a disruptor in the dog training field? Well, I think we can say that the whole 1990s pet dog training paradigm, which didn't exist before, and I've talked about this in other videos, but this large increase in people who had dogs in the cities and the suburban urban living created this whole new niche that didn't exist before. And so people thought, hey, we can capitalize on this and we can make a lot of money. We can overcharge people for what was seen as a hobby before, and very good trainers as a hobby or as a very niche sport, such as obedience training. And I've launched into this. I'll talk a little bit about this, but this disruption that happened in Mutant Theory was, hey, we can charge people like we're in the HVAC, like we're car repairmen, like we're doing plumbing. We can just overcharge for what we're doing, like mechanics, I should say, auto mechanics. We can overcharge for what we're doing and soak people who don't want to invest time in learning or who don't understand that this is something that is not that difficult to do, actually. So the people without experience in dog training listen to people who basically didn't have a lot of experience in it. People started, they want to get their retirement. They want to have houses. They want to put kids through summer camp and all this. So they charge these, insane amounts that no one would have paid. It's just like cat training now. How many people are going to pay for cat training? Nobody. Domestic cat training in the United States, for example. And in parts of the world, nobody's going to pay for dog training. They're not going to pay for it. Like, you'll go broke in Southeast Asia unless you're dealing, if you try to clientele only rich expats. That's about it, As far as, same thing existed in the United States back in the 1950s. Nobody's going to pay you these exorbitant prices for that stuff. And just like cat training now, nobody's going to pay. I can train cats, and it's part of the, the TV movie stuff. Yeah, domestic cat training is pretty cool. It's not that difficult. Cats are extremely smart, but you can't get away with things with felines as you can with the canines. So I'm saying that, but there is not a market, is what I'm getting to. There became this market, so all these people rushed into this market. So that was a disruption. But then, what was another disruption? You had a disruption where people call themselves trainers, but they're actually not training dogs to do something new. They're stopping behaviors. And this is a big thing that most people who are looking for trainers are actually just looking for someone to stop a behavior. They don't like that the dog is digging holes. They don't like that their dog is barking. They don't like that their dog is reactive. This is a generic term, like how dogs interact with other dogs, or how dogs interact with strangers, or how dogs interact with you trying to steal their damn food. Like, yeah, well, you're reacting to the same thing, But the people who don't know much about dogs, they just basically want to slave. They don't want dogs to be dogs. They want dogs to be tropical fish that can handle being petted. This is a lot. So a disruptor, in this case, was trying to confuse the term stopping behavior with building behavior. Large difference again. Someone who teaches you how to be a jet pilot is teaching you a new skill. This is what a trainer does, teaches new skill. Does not stop skills. If you want to learn how to fly a jet, you don't go to someone who stops people from smoking. That's stopping behavior. So most people are looking for someone who wants to stop smoking. So these are non sequiturs. A lot of people don't care anymore about teaching dogs new things. They don't want to stop them. Those are not trainers. This whole large pet dog industry doesn't have a lot of good instructors in it as far as teaching skills. They can't do it. And as a disruptor, as a Mutant Theory, that's the whole point behind the Jedi Dog Master Challenge, which, everybody runs away from because it shakes them up. Because you don't have to spend thousands and thousands of dollars and cherry pick a dog for a dog sport that won't pay you back, that you're just going to invest in as a hobby. That's extremely expensive hobbies. Things like IGP, heavy infrastructure is needed. You think looking at this with all these people on YouTube and Instagram who are glorifying IGP, that, hey, this is some great thing. It's extremely difficult. There aren't that many people doing it in the United States, actually. The clubs are few and far in between, and they're also known as snooty little high school acting clubs. You have to have people for the tracking, which is not actually real tracking, which would be involving trailing also, and you have to have people for all aspects, and definitely for the bite part of it, you have to have people, and the dogs have to be genetically predisposed for that. So then a lot of people spend a lot of money for those type of dogs. That's one type of dog sport. Agility is another one that costs a lot of money. Where's the financial return? There isn't any on it, unless you want to be a trainer to other people who are in the niche. That's very small. So disrupting that is the Jedi Dog Master Challenge, because it says, hey, you have to prove that you can train dogs in a variety of different types of dogs. Number one, you have to be able to train dogs to do different skills tasks. The 3-dog challenge, I haven't seen anybody pass that. A lot of people say, that I tried it, I can't do it. The same thing for 99% of everybody who tries to do the 100-pound plus dog with no tail doing a switch limp. Now, actually, the dog I use is autistic, and his tail was cut off. People don't even bother to learn about Akuma. The videos are there. I'll say this much as I didn't cut his tail. Somebody else cut his tail, deformed it. It's broken. It's forever down. He can't use it for counterweighting himself at all. And he has done a switch limp. And then, of course, the quarter-mile sit-stay recall. There's a couple people who have been able to pull off the quarter-mile recall, but nobody's done all three of the different tasks. That's the whole point, because it shows that you can train dogs that are vastly different. I have a tier 1 dog doing the quarter-mile sit-stay recall. I have a 100-pound plus boarhound, American bulldog, doing the switch limp. In the 3-dog challenge, exactly what it says. I've passed it twice, showing that I can do it. It's on video proof, and that's a disruptor, because it says, hey, look, you think you're a good trainer, but can you train dogs across this gamut? And the people who downplay it and detract from it, they can't do it. The bottom line is they can't do it. I'm not impressed. Then show me that you can do it. And it's only video proof, and step up too, because unlike these big money sports, you can do it and actually get paid if you meet it. And you got, let's be real about this, legitimate. You got to put money up, and you got to sign legal things, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, you'd spend more money pursuing IGP or agility than what you risk here. It's just that the people don't have the skill. So coming into this and people calling me a maverick or calling me a disruptor, hey, that's fine. It's really Mutant Theory. What I'm saying is, why don't you want to learn? I use something that is termed basically the merge technique, because I'm combining two different things that a lot of people don't have. 51 years training dogs, you don't match me. Nobody matches me out there on that. They don't have it. No, anybody close is retired. They're done. They're over. And they haven't done as many different dogs on 3 different continents like I have. And I bring in data-driven dog training that's from the tactical world, and I also bring in the variety of different methods that we use in movie dog training. That there is nobody else out there that's combining these two. And this is the thing, empirical evidence is right there with the merge training. So a lot of people ask me about it. Hey, what is this? And before I was basically saying, it is a combination of movie dog training with data-driven dog training. A lot of people don't know what data-driven dog training is. And hey, that's something you have to do for consultations. All these other people out here raking in the big money, and a lot of people sending me messages asking me, hey, what about this? You're asking for advice. You're asking for advice from a guy who's done it for 51 years, and let me shoot back to you. How many, in the United States especially, how many lawyers or doctors do you talk to that will give you free information about things that they spent a long time learning? How many? Yeah, good luck. It's not going to happen. So, while you're busy paying other people for their online courses or trying to be a sycophant at one of their large, 30 or 40 people or more live seminars where you're paying just to watch and paying 2 or 3 times more if you want to have a dog there, take a moment and ask yourself, is that person a disruptor? Is that person utilizing mutant theory? What have they done to shake up the dog training world? What have they done to change things? How is it radically different?